Cursed by the old gods in Bethany, we are 5 immortals doomed to walk the earth till we complete our 1,001 tasks. After centuries having our memories sticked around, ready to complete our destiny and die, we are, for now, the Immortals. This is episode 71.
Woo!
Prime number.
It is a prime number.
It is a prime number.
Other details of numbers. Who are we?
What?
Yeah, it's time to say our names.
I'm Austin.
Oh, wait, who goes next?
I'm just
Adam
so
goes next.
flabbergasted that we're getting so quickly into this.
Well, let me tell you about something.
I'm Adam.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Lee.
I'm Pedro.
Well, so I found this room this time, guys, and it was like every time I tried to say something or make a funny joke, it was like the whole world reset. And it was like I just had to keep saying the same thing over and over. And like it made me realize that nothing that I say matters. And so I'm done now.
You're done with what?
With making jokes, with bits. I'm done.
You're
I
done
learned
with humor?
I learned from this room that repetition is not the soul of wit, and that nothing I say is actually that funny.
You went to a room that constantly reset, and you recognize that repetition is not the soul of wit.
Yes.
No, anytime you did a bit.
Yeah, it would reset, and it
So
just
there are no points to bits.
right. And so the point is, every time I did a bit, I was like punished by like my entire world resetting to the beginning and having to do the bit again. Eventually, I got so tired of my own bits that I realized that they were terrible, and that I was terrible, and then I had an existential crisis, and now I'm here.
Then you watch the film. You came to record.
Yeah, I mean, of course,
Start
yeah.
over from the beginning, like our beginning.
Yeah, it sucked.
Oh damn.
If you think that's a weird minute of a review show, it's a very simple explanation.
So
we are
easy,
in the
guys.
realms of the old gods as we are trying to defeat Bethany, get home, end our curse, yada, yada, yada. It's a large, spacious place. We've been here now for a couple of weeks, and I think we're inside. It's kind of hard to see.
Let's just say it's a castle. We're in a big.
I think
Castle-like
so.
thing.
I keep looking up, and it's really cloudy. So, but it seems like it's inside.
We're in
and
Hogwarts.
Yet I have been rained on for most of this week, but I think I'm inside. It's not a great place to be, and once again, I have not found Bethany or any sort of help whatsoever. I saw that cockroach that Sarah saw the other week.
Didn't like it.
Didn't like it. Do you guys find anything useful besides?
Yeah, I totally did. So I walked into a room and there was this little rock thing, little like very well shaped trapezoid rock with a little hole in it, and there were like some symbols with triangles around. I don't know. And it was just like, put it here. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Then my sword was like, put me there. And then I put my sword in there. And then I became a 7-year-old kid. It freaked me out. So then
Well,
I took
crazy.
it back out. And then I became an adult. Which
did
is not how that works.
You did.
So you played Zelda again?
I did it backwards, though. That's
Okay.
the weird bit.
All of
my
your-
sword is not in there. And I'm a big person.
Well, that's actually the opposite
Exactly.
of Ocarina, and that makes it really
Right?
strange. Yeah.
It does. It's
I'm worried
interesting.
that, like, you found the answer to what we need. I think you have found a realm, a part of this realm that is like a wish fulfillment, but your wish is not to defeat Bethany. It's
to find the Dark Tower and be Zelda.
Yeah, just
Yep.
keep playing Zelda. You just want to get back home to the Nintendo Switch to play Zelda.
Yep.
It's like that really shittily named like Mirror of Erised from Harry Potter, which is just the word desire backwards. Where like basically, he sees what he most desires, but he's all like pure of heart and shit. So I don't know. But
I did not realize
none of
that.
us are pure of heart. You never got that it's desire backwards?
No.
She's crazy.
It's like literally one of the easiest things to figure out.
It's like
I never
straight. It's
figured
like
it
it's like before she got it all clever with anything.
Yeah.
I never figured it out.
All fantasy and sci-fi words are stupid, so I don't try to figure them out.
That is a fair point, but this one is pretty straightforward.
Most things are just the writer throwing their fist into a keyboard and go, that's the name of this new elf.
It's not dollars anymore, it's credits.
Yes.
Or
Not
just-
rupees?
Could be rupees.
Hey, let's
All right.
let's talk about
Lee,
stuff.
Lee, you find
Did
it
you find-
cool?
yeah,
I just found like someone's basement rumpus room from the 1970s.
well, that sounds actually kind of great.
Is it paneled with wooden walls? Those are my
Yeah,
favorite.
like it's got this really
That's
dark
awesome.
fake wood paneling and then like this super orange shag carpet and that old
Yes.
like tube TV. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's the way to be.
I knew
Does
someone
it
would
have
Really
any like?
get through
Does it have
channels,
like globe lights in different colors? Anything like funky going on, or is it more
No,
like 70s
it has-
family vibe?
It has a disco ball, but you have to like find the right switch for it.
Awesome. And have you found the Switch?
Not yet.
That's
But I
the,
can
that's
see it,
definitely
like,
the torture
on
of the
the ceiling.
room.
I don't want to, overstep anything, but I think you should just go in there and declare, "Let the wild rumpus begin," and that might turn it on.
That seems right.
It might.
Adam, you find anywhere cool?
Cool? No. I found a room where there were a bunch of guys in business suits, and they all looked exactly the same, and they introduced themselves. They go, "Hi, I'm Steve," and they slapped my cheeks over and over and over.
Can you do that one more
Instead of a
time?
handshake. Yeah.
What if that
Thank
was
you.
real life? Everywhere we went.
Wait, I thought you were like a spirit or something. Isn't your body back in the real world?
Yeah,
can
no,
still-
that thing's gone.
I don't know. I can still feel things. Like, I can feel sensations, but... Yeah, I'm not sure. When we get back to our Earth, I'm not sure.
Do we even
How
know
that's
if
gonna
our
work.
bodies actually made it through?
Let's not think about it too
I
much.
just
Nah,
fell.
we'll figure out later. Anywho, I actually... Time is fucked up here. I think it's been a week. I hope this is being released on time. But I honestly have already forgotten how we picked our number this week.
Oh,
So-
I just knew it. It popped
told-
into my
You
brain.
just said it. Okay, Pedro just picked it this week.
Which is, I think, the second time since the very first episode that we've picked our own number.
It's true. We picked our own number the very first episode.
Yep.
Okay.
And these numbers are important because I'm sure you're all following the plot very carefully right now. We are the Immortals. We review the 1001 movies, albums, food, songs, children's books, and TV shows that you must consume before you die. These are all actual published books, and every week we are typically assigned a number, but lately we're just kind of doing it on our own because we are just hanging out in the realms of the old gods.
Yep.
And this week we're reviewing the 582nd entry in all those books, and they are the following things. The movie is Young Frankenstein.
The album is Eye Against Eye by Bad Brains.
The food is Andouille de Vire.
The song is Black Metal by Venom.
The children's book is Doraemon, Gadget Cat from the Future by, probably I'm saying this wrong, Fujio.
We don't have it though, right? Because if I heard this at the beginning and I didn't know there wasn't going to be and I thought that was coming and it wasn't coming, I'd be so disappointed.
We have found clues around the old realm that it is around here somewhere.
We just gotta find it.
We just can't get it this week.
Even though books 6, 7, 8 maybe of Game of Thrones is
Yeah, I found
song
those.
of-
Oh yeah, in the library that has everything.
Yeah, I
except
found those. Yeah.
Doraemon, Gadget Cat from the Future.
Because some things are being checked out and need to be returned.
I'm sure all of the old gods or whoever is in this realm have to read everything before we do.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's what I assume all the fans are doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the TV show?
Walking with Dinosaurs.
Cool.
That's not Young Frankenstein.
Yeah!
Dun dun dun.
It's coming from the deep, dark recesses of the mind of Mel Brooks. I love him. Young Frankenstein.
Sky means business.
Young Frankenstein, starring Gene Wilder as Dr. Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein.
But what about your grandfather's work, sir? My grandfather's work was doo-doo!
Young Frankenstein is a comedy classic by Mel Brooks, starring Gene Wilder, who also worked on the screenplay. It is a spoof of the Universal horror films of the Frankenstein films, specifically Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, and Son of Frankenstein. It is about the grandson of Victor Frankenstein, who is sent back to kind of Transylvania and basically just takes up exactly what his grandfather did, but in a much sillier fashion.
Frederick Frankenstein.
Yes, for most of the film, he declares he is not Frederick Frankenstein, but Frederick Frankenstein.
Also, his name's not
No, his
Frederick,
name's
it's
not-
Frederick.
It's Frederick Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Frederick Frankenstein.
He explains that his name is Frederick Frankenstein.
Yes.
Igor, his amazing assistant.
Igor.
It's not Igor, it's Igor. Says it's Frederick Frankenstein. It is Probably neither.
This is a film that...
It's perfect.
There are very few spoofs in the world
Yeah,
that have
Batman
completely eclipsed, I think, its original sources in a way that you can really actually get by watching this. The other one I would think is actually Airplane.
Yep.
Because no one should actually watch Airport. Whereas those Frankenstein films are actually rather good. This is something unique and silly and
So
bizarre and a proper Frankenstein film. And it's...
I don't know if I would give it that last one.
What?
It's definitely a proper
I
Frankenstein
would.
film.
Yeah, I think that's why it's
It-
so successful.
It captures exactly the same theme message as the book, but in a funny, silly
That's
movie
true.
that's making fun of.
I guess what I wouldn't say is, I would not say that this is one of those humor movies that also functions as a horror movie or a monster movie.
Well,
No.
I don't think Frankenstein's that scary of a horror franchise.
Yeah, but they were made as, like,
they're made to be creepy.
yeah, exactly. I would not call this movie creepy.
The book
I
wasn't
think it kind of
creepy
is
or
sometimes.
scary.
The book is weird, though. Like, the
It's
book
weird.
is, and sort of ultimately non-successful. But
the Mel Brooks is, every time I rewatch one of his films, I keep being amazed on how incredible of a comedy director he is.
oh yeah.
So many of today's comedy directors are very lazy with kind of like letting everybody improvise and just kind of putting the camera down. And every one of his shots is so detailed in a way that it truly felt like a 1930s Frankenstein movie with the pacing and the sound effects and the look of it. You've all seen this before, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Leah, I want you to go first. What do you think of Young Frankenstein?
I love Mel Brooks, so I was excited to watch this movie again. It's been a couple years since I had seen it, and I had the great pleasure of watching it with somebody who had never seen it before.
Oh, that's super fun.
It was so much fun. I watched it with my boyfriend, and he had never seen it, and he kept laughing at all of the right moments, and like every time he felt like he was like, it seemed like he was kind of embarrassed, like, that was so dumb, why am I laughing at that? It's like, because it was so dumb, and
It's
that's
so
why it was
great.
funny.
Well, here's the thing. I hadn't seen it in years.
Yeah, me
Like,
either.
I was a child, basically, when I last saw it. And then I saw it again this time. First of all, watching it as a full-fledged adult brain,
Yeah.
So
all
much better.
Immortals history aside, so much better. And also, I also laughed at all the right parts.
Yeah.
I didn't give a fuck. Silly, not silly, whatever. It's a perfect movie.
I think that the scene steal the movie stealing performance, although Gene Wilder is wonderful, is Igor.
Marty Feldman.
Oh
Marty
my god,
Feldman.
he's so, like, Austin and I were saying the whole time, like, at the beginning Austin said something like, I always wonder about this character, is he just crazy or is he fucking with Frankenstein? And I very much think that the entire conceit of the movie is that he's just fucking with this guy. From the moment he meets him, he discovers that Frederick Frankenstein is a dick. And he is. He's just the worst. And Igor makes a split-second decision to be like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna fuck with this guy the whole time.
Well, that's the genius, because as a kid, I thought Igor was messing up in a silly way.
Right,
So
was
I'm like,
like-
oh, that's so silly. His henchman isn't getting it right. Haha. And then I watch it again, I'm like, oh
Oh no, it's actually
you're
just
awesome.
fucking with him and mugging to the camera, breaking the fourth wall. It's great.
It's very Groucho, very Marx Brothers in a certain way, because like you really believe at that first train station sequence that Igor had never called himself Igor before.
Oh, yeah.
Until he thinks that that Frankenstein is a bullshit name. And if you're gonna be Frankenstein, I'm Igor. And he keeps changing his hump. He keeps ignoring
Walk
that he
this
has a
way.
hump. He mugs the camera that he does have a hump.
He makes hump puns and mugs to the camera. It's great.
I think he truly starts to kind of go after Frankenstein's fiance because it's Frankenstein's fiance.
Oh yeah, no, just to be exactly in the split second that Frankenstein says that that's not his name, Igor's just like, fuck you, like, I'm gonna ruin your life now, and he does.
And
It's
Gene
great.
Wilder is genius because, I mean, the story is that he wrote this script. He kind of gave it to Mel Brooks. And I believe they're both credited for screenplay, but
Yeah.
Mel Brooks said for years now, like, he did 10% of the work. It was basically done when Gene Wilder handed it to him. And the way Gene Wilder plays so many scenes, that he's such a generous actor. Like, he is happy to give everyone else in the scene the funniest lines in the
Yeah.
funniest moment. And when Igor is getting his first moments, Gene Wilder's Frankenstein is so passive and quiet and a little bit intimidated by him. Of like, no, my name is Frankenstein. And he's just so confused why this man is being so mean to him. And it's amazing. And it was so much fun because I had the benefit of watching a bunch of old good and bad Frankenstein movies this past year, because Turner Classic Movies, every October they always do a bunch of horror films, and their subject that month was Frankenstein. So they played all his films of the month, and I recorded the ones I hadn't seen. It is crazy what is actually from the films.
Yeah.
Because I saw Son of Frankenstein, which is actually a rather fun film, but the guy with the robotic hand is from that movie. I assumed that was a crazy Mel Brooks thing. Obviously, it's crazier in this film, but that's a thing. Oh my! I love the movie because it's always character based. It's always weird, and it's still going upon the themes of responsibility of mortality that the original source does.
Yeah, no, it's true. It does bother. It bothers to be about something when it has no real need to, while still maintaining its utter silliness.
In fact, this version of the story gives more consequences to the Frankenstein character than most of the original ones.
It's true.
Yeah.
This one, with the... It feels weird to spoil this, but like...
In
the ending, like, he does sacrifice, of which the Mary Shelley Frankenstein doesn't.
No, it humanizes him. It basically says this is what you should have done 3 generations ago, but you get to do it now.
I would say
Your family, I guess.
Just I sort of was thinking, like, because it's a great film. It's not a perfect film. I do think that the thing about it that always makes me kind of sad is that as soon as Frankenstein's monster shows up, it's not quite as funny. I think as, like, for me, all of the classic scenes of the movie come before Frankenstein's monster shows up. They're all of the Igor, Frankenstein bits, the Frau Bruchard.
Wait, whoa. There's one very important moment after the monster shows up.
I would say
Tap
2.
dance.
Yeah.
That's putting on the Ritz.
The tap dance is pretty good.
Putting on the Ritz
That's amazing.
is pretty darn incredible.
Actually, speaking of the tap dance, I want to say this real quick. This is the one time that this film departs from its feeling that we've all sort of agreed upon, that it's Frankenstein done right as the Doctor. When he turns against the monster almost in a accusatory way of, no, you are messing this up, stop messing this up, stop messing it up for yourself and your career.
That echoes the book, like, which is all about the rejection of the monster.
It does, but that's the one time that the character Frankenstein departs from what I thought was his original, not message or way of act. Like, that's the one thing that rubbed the wrong way.
I think
he could have done it better.
To me, I think that is an intentional moment because in every incarnation of the story, Victor Frankenstein is an unworthy man. He's someone who has created life and has to take responsibility for it. And I think this film, still not perfectly smooth, I admit, but I think that is part of his arc of putting focus towards the monster over himself. Mm-hmm. Because during that sequence, it's still about, look what I have done to science, not how are you feeling as an actual human being.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
shit.
Like, I think it's still like, it's him going towards...
Well, that's just it. Is he going for getting the monster, quote unquote, at this point, not a monster in his eyes, his creation, is he trying to get his creation to a point that's acceptable, I guess, via love and care and whatnot from the previous scenes, or is he trying to receive accolades from his colleagues?
I think it's the latter at that moment still.
At that moment...
I think we are overanalyzing the Gene Wilder character, who is mostly full of laughs.
Well, that was the one point that
it's
it
a
just
really complicated character.
Switched to me. Like, that's the one point that it rubbed wrong. Like, okay, he's an asshole doctor, respected, whatever. He shows up, he reads a note from his great-grandfather. He's like, oh shit, this can work. He does it. He realizes, wow, the only way that I'm going to be able to do this for this creature that I have created is to show him love and to make him an actual being and treat him like one. Hey guys, I got something to show you. You're a monster. Like there was a certain like blip.
Well, I think absolutely, because I think what's so interesting about this movie is that Gene Wilder really wanted to focus on Frankenstein's contradictions. Because even like in his opening scene, which is so funny, of him with the students, it's him denying the practices of his grandfather while also being hysterically cruel to this old man. It is, he goes out of his way to make him an asshole in not necessarily comedic lines. This isn't like, I don't know, an Iron Man kind of asshole. It's really questioning whether this should have been done and what could have been done to fix it. That's what I'm saying. It still works as the tragedy of Frankenstein in the silliest movie, which has, a guy with a robot hand faking darts. Yeah. Adam, you keep nodding.
Yes, well, I'm agreeing with everything that you're saying.
I know, but I want them to know that.
Except, I don't like Igor.
What is wrong with you?
I like half of him, but I think that
Not half.
He plays to the camera way too much in a movie that I think works because it takes itself so seriously in other respects that I think that when he breaks the fourth wall, like he could have those jokes, but just not look at the camera. And I think that would have been, I think that would have been much better.
See, and I feel like Mel Brooks is at his. I guess I take the movie the other way. I think that this stuff about wondering about the complexities of Gene Wilder's Frankenstein character is pretty pie in the sky for what this movie is trying to do. I think Mel Brooks is at his best when he is playing for beautifully executed cheap laughs. And I guess that, I'm also a huge fan of Spaceballs, which definitely is towards the Igor realm of Mel Brooks's comedy. And I also think it's fucking hilarious.
No, I also love Spaceballs, but I think
Spaceballs, the toilet paper. Spaceballs,
exactly.
the comic book.
Because like the entire plot of Spaceballs is like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
But this one has an element of seriousness to it.
And I think that's Gene Wilder's influence.
Yes.
It's who I could tell. It's so interesting because I really like Mel Brooks. I think he has 3 like undeniably incredible films. This, Blazing Saddles, which came out the same year.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
That is crazy.
And I know it has a couple awards to it, but I love his first film, The Producers. That is a really silly film with a lot to say. That is so silly.
You have to see that one.
It's a great. It's a great
I'll
story. I'll
happily watch Spaceballs again right now.
It's so good.
Well, maybe not too happily, but we mentioned I alluded that there are 2 kind of my great funny scenes after the monster arrives, and to me the other one is pretty much directly plays out exactly the same way in Bride of Frankenstein, but it's way funnier, which is Gene Hackman as the blind man.
Oh shit, that was him?
Yeah,
that's Gene Hackman.
Oh fuck. Rest in peace.
That scene happened in the exact same way.
Gene Wilder is dead.
Gene Hackman's basically dead.
He's just retired.
He's like 90 some odd years old.
He's not that old.
He's not that old.
This episode comes out in
pretty
12
sure
hours.
he was
We
born
have time.
in the 30s. I could be wrong. Anyway, apologies, Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman's still alive.
Let
Gene
me know
Wilder's
if you
alive.
are.
What do you mean?
Right, in the
Gene
chat.
Hackman, tweet
He's
us.
still alive.
Tweet us at the Immortals podcast.
He is 87, which is older than I would have thought Gene Hackman is.
No,
Agreed. But
this
still.
episode comes out in 12 hours. We can make this.
Okay.
It's okay. But that scene, because there's so many scenes, like, obviously the scene with the monster and the little girl is from the first Frankenstein film, which I had not seen this film in 10 years.
I forgot the punchline of that scene. It's great.
I saw it 10 years ago, but I knew every line coming up, except for I didn't know where that one was going. So I couldn't figure out why her parents were freaking out and wanting to go upstairs. I'm like, they're outside. I mean, the whole thing is like they're by the lake, whatnot. And then the teeter-totter arrives, and he flings her through the air and into the bed.
Yep.
And the awful parents like, all right.
Guess we're
all
fine.
resolved.
The blind hermit, he has soup to offer, which is normal. And then, let's enjoy a cigar. And then I was going to make you an espresso.
Kid.
Sorry.
No.
The blind hermit also being like a direct
Yeah.
like quote from the book.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
of being
Yeah.
the blind hermit. Yeah.
That is in Bride of Frankenstein, that film.
Yeah.
They do that whole scene.
I was gonna say, can we talk about Cloris Leachman and Madeline Kahn?
So, well,
So
Cloris
good.
Leachman, this is now our second in the ongoing series of Cloris Leachman in black and white films, of which black and white was out of fashion,
Right,
because we reviewed The Last Picture Show.
right.
Fair.
So, I don't know how many there are, but we're going to keep finding out as the podcast goes on.
Who's who?
Cloris Leachman is Frau Blucher. She played the older woman in The Last Picture Show.
Okay.
So, yeah. And, so yeah, Cloris Leachman and Madeline Kahn,
Which one's she?
the fiance.
And Brian-
The American fiance.
Yes.
In the
Yes.
beginning.
Yes.
Okay.
Those two actresses are
Amazing.
so funny. The line that like I was like eagerly waiting for from Cloris Leachman the entire rewatch was her to gleefully announce in a melodramatic manner that he was my boyfriend. The way I didn't even give it a tenth of the justice of that. She is so funny. I love that.
Yeah, it's 110%.
Yes. And Madeline Kahn is an absolute genius. And there's another podcast I do called Let's Take Five that I do in between
Really?
trying to break this curse.
Huh.
I've been trying to nail a Madeline Kahn 5 for a while, but like she has 4 great films.
Yep.
I need a 5th.
Blazing
So,
Saddles, Clue,
Young
Young Frankenstein,
and Paper Moon.
and Paper Moon, and there's not a fifth.
Even anything slightly associated.
No, honestly, no.
I'm like she like is barely in like What's Up Doc, I think, if I remember correctly. Like
There it
if
is.
If anyone knows anything else like that's more than 2 scenes, please let me know so I can get a Madeline Kahn 5.
But unfortunately, she died right. Yeah, I mean, she died
She
at
did.
55 or 56. So
And she's in a bunch of bad films, which I don't like to talk about because, like,
She's amazing.
the Gene Wilder film where he played Sherlock's brother, it's a really bad movie and it shouldn't be bad. And you're watching comedy legends be bad, and it's really
That
confusing
sucks.
to watch.
When he's sort of like good bad movies, like bad in a good way. Just
Clearly, you
I don't-
should watch
I need
all
to-
of them.
I need to watch more, but in this film, I love her character because, I mean, first off, she gets to be so funny as, like, she refuses basically to be touched for the most mundane reasons. But as the film goes on, you realize it's not because she's being, like, stuck up or prudish. She just doesn't like Gene Wilder. And she seems to be attracted to everybody else in the film. Except for him. Because she really...
And Igor.
Yeah, see, no, because, like, Igor leaps at her, which was awfully
That is-
inappropriate.
yeah, that's
But
true.
then, like, she's, like, out of breath in a way of, like, she is quite flustered by what happened.
Yeah.
And not angry, just a little flustered.
Yeah.
And then, of course, she ends up with the monster.
Nah.
he's not a monster.
What do we call him?
He's the creature.
The creature.
Yeah.
And Cloris Leachman, it only the Frau Blucher line with the horses is so fucking funny. In fact, that she never acknowledges it, and the other characters start to stop acknowledging it.
It's good stuff.
Yep.
Lee, what do you think?
I enjoyed this movie. It's hard to really critique it. I feel like with Mel Brooks movies, he kind of falls back on some of the same 6 jokes in every single movie, except this one. There was only one that like I've seen in every other single Mel Brooks movie, and that's the Walk This Way joke.
Yeah.
Which is a
But
great joke.
I didn't catch
feel like
it.
it was like this was probably the best executed of that joke that I've
Yeah.
seen.
Mel Brooks, while a genius, is also a complete ham, and he also loves to reference himself. So it's very possible that he might just be referencing this movie when he repeats it, because like I love the Producer's Musical. I had like seen it twice, loved it, knew all the lines, and then I saw much later History of the World Part 1. Whereas he's referencing that movie in an early song in that as like a very blatant like, remember this line? And it's
He didn't do Men
he's
in
a ham.
Tights,
He's
did
a
he?
yeah.
Yeah, Men in Tights, he does it. Walk this way, and then they'll walk.
Yeah, they're definitely.
They'll do the strut.
He's
Yep.
definitely quoting himself because
That's what he does.
he's a ham.
Yep.
And
This was the best, I think.
oh yeah. Did you like Cloris Leachman and Madeline Kahn?
I did, but I also have to give out a shout out to Terry Garr. I love her.
Terry Garr's super great.
Her introduction of Rollin' Z, like one of my favorite lines, and I randomly quote it, and everybody gives me a strange look because nobody remembers it.
No, that is one of the ones that always stuck with me too. Although I think it's specifically because when I watched Young Frankenstein originally, I think it was when my brother was probably like 13, maybe I was 10, so I was just a little bit too young to even realize that the movie was raunchy. Like, I didn't understand that. And I just remember asking my dad so often, like, why is that funny, Dad? And looking back, I'm like, oh no. Like, I remember specifically the roll in the hay joke and the giant knockers joke. I remember specifically asking my dad, what are knockers? And having him say something like, well, they're kind of a rude word for a woman's breast, Sarah. And I'm like, my poor father.
Terry Garr, I was really enjoying her this watch. I kind of realized that she's kind of an underappreciated actress who's in 2 comedy classics. This and Tootsie, she's really good at.
Oh shit, she's in Tootsie?
Yeah, she is Dustin Hoffman is basically dating her to avoid telling her that he took her role in the soap opera. And
God,
she's just really
great.
confused.
God, that movie's great.
I love Tootsie. And Terry Garr, I'm not going to imitate it this time, but much like Cloris Leachman, she has a line that makes a great scene even greater. The very famous candle bookshelf scene.
Mm-hmm. So
where
good.
they all keep kind of getting trapped in the trap door. My biggest laugh is always when she's the one trapped. And she screams, put the candle back.
Yeah.
Put
a candle
back.
with exactly the same cadence as
Yeah, I know.
when the first time
So
he gets
good.
caught. Yeah.
It's like whatever is on the other side of that bookcase is so dire that they can barely
Yeah.
speak.
I think it's just dark.
No.
Yeah.
It's important to get each word
Yes.
out clearly.
Very clear.
And
Now.
that scene was homaged in a film
That you love very much.
and we covered in this podcast because of you.
Ah!
And what film
You
would
have
that
to
be,
say it.
Pedro?
You have to say it.
Oh, it's called Indiana Jones and the Holy Grail.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. It's called the Holy Grail.
Last Crusade.
Holy
It's
shit.
in Last Crusade
Oh, Jesus Christ.
with the Nazis.
Nerd.
You've seen this film more than I've seen my
Well,
watch.
It's because the entire thing is just...
Wow.
Monty
Wow.
Python and the Last Crusade.
I'm just...
I think we should-
back in my
Wow.
head. I'm stuck.
We have to end now.
I think we have to,
because-
we have to hedge it because
All right, well, that's
just,
a sign.
All right, so speaking one last thought before I go into my hinge rating, which is I agree with Sarah that I think there is some pacing issues. That once the monsters arrive, there are some great scenes, but their transitions to the other scenes I think are a bit slow. That said, holy shit, this movie's good. 4.7.
I love this movie. Mel Brooks has a couple perfect films. This is maybe I don't know, 4.5.
Wait. What's your Spaceballs?
You know what's horrible is I love Spaceballs. So I actually like Spaceballs better than this movie. I actually do. It's a great movie. We gotta rewatch it. And Blazing Saddles is great.
I'm going to say 4.7 also.
I say 4.7. What did you rate this?
4.5.
Lee?
4.3.
All right, that is Young Frankenstein. If for some reason you've not seen Young Frankenstein,
Go watch it.
but wanted to listen to the weirdest review podcast of all time,
Yeah,
do it
and
for
have us
half hour.
spoil all the jokes.
We actually don't think spoiled as many as you think.
It's true. It could have
So,
just been me just quoting
definitely check it out.
lines at you.
Because that's it's one of those kind of classic stories of man versus man, much like man versus self is one of the classic conflicts. Lee, what was the album this week?
The album this week was Eye Against Eye by Bad Brains.
Ooh, deep cut transition. I love it.
Bad Brains is an American hardcore punk band, and Eye Against Eye was their third studio album, which came out in 1986. And it's an interesting one. A little bit of history on this band, because I had never heard of them before, and I feel like context is a little key here. They started out as apparently like a funk, soul, reggae band with heavy metal influences.
Sure, that's a thing.
Like you do.
That's real.
Is this our typical looking at the genres on Wikipedia thing, where it's 30 different ones?
Kinda. So I went and was using Wikipedia because they're my number one resource for research, and they were going into like this genre and this genre, and I listened to a bit of their first album just to see kind of the evolution of the band. The first album sounds incredibly similar to this album. I don't really see how they went from quote unquote funk to hard heavy metal punk, but that's where they ended up. And their first album, I feel, was definitely more punky and less heavy metal-y, but it's very similar, I felt.
I admire your dedication to the review process, the whole show, because I was listening to this album, and I had one of my typical, like, ugh, how much is left? And the answer was, like, 5 minutes, and I still was like, ugh. So I admire that you went to additional songs and additional albums beyond this, because this was rough for me.
Yeah, I also listened to it and found just nothing I could even hang my hat on as worthwhile. I really didn't like it.
It was pretty fun.
Oh, there you go.
For me, it was just really generic.
Yeah.
There was nothing that really stood out. There was nothing that made me want to listen more, really. One thing that is interesting, if we're going to get into kind of the demographics of punk music, they're black. It is a black band. You don't get popular black punk bands very often.
That's true.
So I thought that was incredibly interesting, and that's kind of why they have a more funk influence. They're also Rastafarians.
Oh, cool.
Which, again, if we compare Rastafarians, this band, with other Rastafarians we've covered, Bob Marley,
Different.
Completely different sounds. Completely. And apparently, if you listen to the lyrics, they're supposed to be more about Rastafarianism and things like that. I couldn't understand the lyrics at all, and I did not have time to go through and read all of the lyrics with every song just to try to figure it out.
Okay, you know what? I'll just admit my ignorance. I've been alive for centuries, and I guess I've never really fully known the depth of Rastafarianism beyond their wardrobe.
Oh, it is a great Wikipedia page. I highly recommend looking into it. It is from Jamaica. It originated there, and Haile Selassie who was the emperor of Ethiopia, is considered kind of like a god or the second coming. Highly recommend looking into it. It's a really great Wikipedia dive.
I am genuinely intrigued. So, okay, this album, it feels like this was, when you're boiling water and like a few like little things pop up, little bubbles. It was that for the entire album. It never actually went to boiling. It was almost a thing the entire time. It was very bland. It was very simple. It was simple in not in a proud way. It was just very complacent and unmemorable.
I'll agree with you on a little bit of that. Because I did listen to it only once, but for a while there were a couple of times where I was like, oh wow, I'm listening to something interesting. But most of the time I was like, oh, I'm just listening to some good old classic punk. Meh. But I was surprised at how often I was actually like brought out of whatever I was doing because of the music. There was something there that grabbed me, which means
was it the rhythm? Was it the?
It was more. Sounds like a cop out. It was the musicality, because to me the whole thing is musicality, which is rhythm, sound, everything.
Is musicality actually a word, or is this like a...
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know if it was those bullshit words we've kind of evolved into being a word.
No. It's definitely.
I think
It's basically that they did something that in some ways is similar to other stuff that I've heard, but is different enough from their performance and expression that I took note of it. And it happened more often than not on the album. And so I was intrigued pleasantly, and not saying it's my favorite type of music, but I didn't have a bad time listening to it as an album. Like, it didn't distract me, it didn't give me... I never felt offended musically. Offended musically, that's really strong. I'm rarely offended musically. But I was never brought out of whatever task I was doing at hand because the music was bad. It was only because the music was good. And otherwise it was very or behind the scenes, if that makes sense.
Meh.
You hear it?
I was going to say that I think the word musicality is just kind of the sum of its parts, essentially,
Yeah.
which can
Yeah.
often mean like more than the sum or less.
Okay, I've always taken it as a word, but I've also used the word badassery for so many years now that I believe that's not actually a word, but I completely know what it means.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know if musicalities had a similar evolution.
It's basically that, but when applied to music instead of level of badass.
Yeah.
No, I understand they're different words.
That's good. That's a good thing to understand.
Lee, what do you think of the incredibly vague assessments we were just saying?
No, I've kind of toned out when you guys were talking about musicality. That's a word that kind of goes over my head.
That seems reasonable.
That's very fair.
My review is that I started listening to it and then I stopped.
Yeah, it sucked. Sorry.
So I'm not going to review it, but that says something, I think.
See, I did listen to this whole thing. I've also been listening to you.
It's so short.
And I feel like we listened to different albums, and I know we didn't because I clicked the same YouTube link the rest of you did. I really, really didn't like this album. I found nothing that was not generic and boring, and yeah.
Wait, I agree with that.
I didn't listen to this on YouTube. I listened to this on Amazon Music, like Prime included, whatever.
Me too.
Actually, one thing that really bothered me was, did it sound like the sound was poorly done?
A little bit.
It got
yeah.
quiet and loud in weird intervals. That
Yeah.
messed me up a lot.
Yeah.
So okay, good. So it wasn't just my machine or
No.
anything. Okay,
That was fine.
but I mean, it wasn't awful.
It could be Amazon Prime. It's not the best service.
Yeah.
Sorry, Amazon, please sponsor us.
Hey, they just added the Love Witch, which is great.
Oh, it's amazing.
We're at Henge's album.
Well, not,
Yeah.
Lee needs to have all the final words.
That's true.
It's her album.
It's a perfectly fine generic punk album. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more because the Wikipedia page really talked it up. Kind of made it seem like Marvin Gaye went punk for a little bit with its kind of stylings. That's not really the case. I'm sure if you got broke down the drum beats and things like that, specific musical aspects of it, it might be more funk influenced. But to me, it just sounds like a lot of punk. So.
And what do you give it hinge-wise?
Hinge-wise, 3. It's perfectly fine.
All right, I give it a 2.5.
1.7.
3.5.
Cool.
Pass.
And Adam passes. All right, that is Eye Against Eye by Bad Brains.
Bad Brains.
Yes.
Which is a great band name. I look up that.
I actually don't love it. don't love the name of the thing. Anyhow, check it out. And now it's time for the food segment. And I'm going to have Sarah pronounce it.
Andouille de Vire. Although it's interesting. It's interesting. So, Andouille de Vire, which would be the way you would say it in French, is a kind of sausage that is a pork sausage, originally made in Normandy. It is a spiced pork sausage with a natural casing is its basic thing.
It's
Now-
intestines.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Andouille de Vire is like many things that we review here, is a protected appellation in France. Unsurprisingly, that means that it does not ship internationally because that's how we all get mad cow disease, is the shipping of meats internationally. I mean, not this one because it's pork, but you know what I mean.
France had a mad cow.
Yeah, like
for a bit.
we don't ship things internationally. So instead, we have the American version of andouille, which is more often referred to as andouille,
Makes so much sense.
which is Cajun. But they're really very similar. And actually, this one I just tasted the main difference between the two apparently is that andouille de Vire is a little bit milder, and this is some pretty damn mild andouille sausage. So I'm gonna say the taste approximation is about right, and we should eat it.
Done.
And for all you at home who have some sort of Immortals drinking game, once Pedro said the word intestines, Adam had his disapproving face.
Or try on intestines. At least we're using the whole animal.
Yeah.
Oh, what else did they do with it?
And you know what?
want some?
I was looking at how many reviews I've done, and some of you are getting pretty close to me, so I'm going to do this one.
You sure?
What?
Yeah.
And
Alright,
this
guys.
is just from Whole Foods, but it's pretty damn good.
I want Adam to go first.
Adam goes first.
Sure.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's cooked well, Pedro.
Thank you.
This is
I was actually
this is
afraid that it
meaty
wasn't
meat.
because it was a...
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. It's very chewy, and there's a nice spice to it.
I like the spice. It's like a
Yeah.
very it only hit me in the back right of my tongue.
Same.
It's like
It'll sneak up on
that's
you
it.
a little
That's
bit,
all I want.
but it's
Yeah.
really good.
It doesn't have that really, deep pork sausage flavor.
Yeah.
you
No,
know?
it's not as,
I'm eating
So it's also- the other
it's
thing
not
is-
as juicy.
Yeah, the other thing that's distinctive about andouille generally is that it's smoked, but this is a much more. It's because of the spice. The smokiness doesn't punch you in the face
Can I
the
take
way.
an end piece?
Yeah, go for it. The way that I feel like sometimes with smoked sausage, it's like, and this, and now I am like in a fire, and this is like much more mild. Also, it's the main ingredient in so many delicious things: red beans and rice, jambalaya. It's a wonderful thing.
It makes sense now because I've heard so many times my family and friends, my most recent family and friends, say, "Oh, we're gonna have some andouille." I'm like, "What the fuck is andouille?" Whatever, and then they bring out giant plates and there's a ton of food, and I just eat what's in front of me. I don't know what's what.
And you say, "Oh, it's pork." Andouille is pork.
Well, no, I just didn't know which of the things in front of me was the andouille. Whatever, I don't know.
This is a food
But
that
apparently, it's like if they made. It's like if you have light meat versus dark meat and chicken. The same thing in pork, and they used the light meat, and then flavored it up to goodness. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense? It doesn't have the depth of flavor of what you imagine a sausage has, or of any sausages I've normally eaten. No? Yes?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. It's oh man, it's so good. It's got there's wine in it too, apparently. Like in both Cajun and French sausage, that's like a major ingredient is wine, which makes sense.
It's well seasoned, and it's actually light on the pork flavor. I guess what I'm talking about, the entire thing I'm talking about, is the pork flavor. That thing that tastes like pork. When you have a pork chop, when you have a sausage, whatever. It's actually really light on that.
It's damn
and
good.
it's interesting because it gives you so much to play around with. And so much that it can go with. This would go great in a jambalaya.
Oh yeah,
For
that's where it
example.
goes.
And it wouldn't overpower it,
No.
as I would normally imagine, like an Italian sausage would.
Yeah, it would be a little too
Fucking
much.
Italians.
Yeah,
Anyway,
fuck Italians.
yeah. Sorry, Italians.
Yeah, this is delicious. I love it a lot.
It's really good.
I think I'm ready to henge it if those people are.
I am.
I like andouille sausage quite a bit. I will give it a 4.5.
I'm gonna give it 3.8. Not pure sausage, but it's super darn tasty.
What is your favorite sausage, Austin?
It's obscene.
That's what I thought.
I give it a 4.5 as well.
Adam?
It's kind of gross that it's the intestines, so I'm gonna.
I mean,
give it-
this one almost certainly isn't. To be fair, this is from
Yeah.
Whole Foods. It's almost certainly an art, like an art.
Nah,
casing,
whatever casing, yeah.
whatever. It's still tasty and delectable, so I'll give it a 3.9.
awesome.
All right, that is.
I will never give the meat a 4.
Well, Austin,
fair.
what
Is
do
it
you
true so far?
Okay, Austin.
Someone look back.
Austin, have we?
I value
what have
your,
we learned? Say the name of the food.
Resolve.
All right, that is Andouille de Vire. All right.
Why am I dating you? Why am I dating you?
Something. Yeah.
Now it's time for the song segment. Pedro, how do you pronounce this one?
Oh, you pronounce it black metal. Black metal. It's by Venom. So, Black Metal is a song by Venom, and it came out in '89, I believe. I've already forgotten because I don't care so much for this song because
this song
it's
is
a
great.
metal song that, to be clear, I love hard rock, I love metal, sort of. I'm not a connoisseur, though, and this rings nothing interesting to me at all. There is nothing interesting musically to keep me connected to this.
Are you kidding me? This song is great. You're wrong. I love this song. But I also like metal a lot, and I'm having a really bad week. And so this is like, I was like, yes, this is what I need right now. This song is great. Its lyrics mostly just are black metal was all I really picked up. I was a big fan. It's great.
I only heard the song once, but luckily I actually took in all of the lyrics. If you want to hear a quick sampling of it. It's something typically around the realm of like, I am looking at a table, I am wearing socks. It's that.
Yeah, it's
For
basically
3
great.
minutes.
Except replace socks with Satan and table with hell.
It's so great, guys.
I am in the old god's realm.
That's actually probably
That
a
would
lyric
be
in the song.
pretty good, yeah.
I think so. I don't listen to lyrics.
This episode comes out on Thursday. Yeah, it's that.
What?
It's there for 3 minutes. What?
Oh, huh? Okay.
You don't know when our show comes out?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, it's that, and there's almost a charm to it. There's a charm to its stupidity, I think.
Guys,
Now, see,
guys, the three members of the band go by Kronos, Mantis, and Abaddon.
Of course they do.
Well, because obviously Abaddon.
Are you making a Lost reference?
Bringer of Destruction and Darkness from Lost.
Also
Kronos.
the Bible, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because everyone's name in Lost is a reference to a philosopher or
The Bible.
some sort of religious text. Yeah, I hope they were all named that way, and they said we got to join a band, right?
Okay.
I just rewatched Creed this week, so the fact that there was someone named Adonis Creed and Apollo Creed in the same franchise, names can be great.
Mantis's real name is Jeff.
Boo.
It's not come out in '82, by the way. I think I said it came out in the late '80s. It's actually already '80s.
My favorite part about this song was on the YouTube page, the third comment at the top was just black melon instead of black metal because it sounds like he's shouting black melon.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
If you were
Abaddon's real name is Anthony. Sorry, this will be funny to me for a while.
if you were at a barbecue and everything's great on the table, great hot dogs, great burgers and whatnot, but there's definitely a black watermelon. But would you put it on your plate?
Sure.
Maybe.
No.
I don't think I would either.
Melon comes in all colors.
Black?
Music comes in all colors, too. This color, not my favorite.
I really like
What color is
song.
this?
I don't know.
It's called black metal.
See, I like hard music. I like metal.
Do you I mean, because it's okay not to like metal.
No, but I do.
Pedro, how hard are you?
Oh, I'm super hard.
Okay.
So hard.
Yeah.
The sausage segment was last one, guys.
And it's this one, too.
It's most of the segments. You should have caught on by now.
But no, it's just that whenever I listen to heavy music, heavy metal music, whatever. I mean, I'm not a connoisseur, so I'm going to get ripped on this. But whenever I listen to something that I like, there's something musically interesting. There is harmony going on between the vocals, which is weird, but somehow they do it. the guitar does something interesting with another guitar because somehow they find 10 guitars to all play interminglingly, lightning fast. I don't know. They all do something, whenever I like it, they all do something interesting. And there is nothing here that grabs me, that tells me this is worth listening to.
So you're describing your perfect song, and this is nothing close.
Not
to
my perfect song.
No, I think you. I'm on your side. I think you are, and sorry, I don't mean to be so forceful, but
somehow.
But I think that if
he can take it, he's really hard.
If you have a perfect bass line, perfect guitar line, and then they speak to each other, then that's a great song to you. And so this song had none of that at all.
This song had nothing special to itself. Nothing.
Not even one part of it.
Nothing in this song differentiated it from what I would expect from this description of the song, which is a heavy metal song.
I think this. My point is perhaps too condescending to the genre, but I don't care. To me, the reason why I liked this on a very small level was its complete lack of irony.
Oh yeah.
So again, it feels like it might be just like knocking down a genre, but like when I was doing my imitation earlier, it was similar to what they did, but they meant it, and that meant something to make actually really enjoyable because they were going for something in a way that I didn't feel that I was going for something.
Did they though? I don't feel like they meant
I don't think it's deep, but
Oh,
I think
no,
they conquered that little kid's pool.
I feel like metal means something in a very specific way, which is that it's primarily an emotion. Like, it's primarily, like, emotive. It's not about... I mean, there is... I say this... This is a strange amount of metal music in my life. There are lots of metal bands that do a lot of interesting musical stuff. If you want to expand your horizons there, you should listen to Opeth, which is a modern Norwegian metal band that does a lot of like crazy orchestral stuff. But anyway,
oh, that sounds right up my alley.
It's baller. You should listen to Opeth. Anyway, but metal, I mean, like late '80s metal. I mean, we're talking about just like let's just express angst and rage in like pure music form, and I appreciate that. There's a value to that.
Here's
I know what they were
though.
going for.
But here's the thing: you say that, and I would love to hear that. But what I hear instead when they act on that is, let's create something that sounds like it's expressing angst and
no. But see,
like,
here's the thing:
you
like,
find a
for
poser.
example,
there's a degree
like,
of
but, like,
separation
the
that I feel
Satanism
is
stuff.
is like I don't feel like they themselves feel it.
But
I
I
don't
feel
feel
like it's all about.
soul.
It's about like
This
I
is
mean,
his burden to bear. He is harder than they are.
That's true.
And
that's
he
true.
recognizes the posers when he sees them.
But I mean, I feel like look,
I feel like it is.
But I feel like, you know,
it's weird.
There's like crazy Satanist stuff going on. You know, Venom weren't Satanists, but it's about shock value,
Exactly,
right?
they weren't Satanists, so why the fuck are they singing?
Because it pisses people off, and that's what they wanted. And that's kind of part of what metal
Well,
is
fine,
about.
if they're gonna do that, that's cool, but at least be interesting musically with their musicality.
Their bad
We'll
ass
make
needs to
up
be
for
higher.
it with something else.
Yeah, just there's something missing in a very like guttural way, and it sucks because they're metal. It's all in there, but it's not. Find it, figure it out. It's not good enough. That's basically what it's just not good enough.
It's not Rust in Peace.
But what is?
Nothing.
No.
It's a perfect album.
It's probably time to hedge this sucker.
3.
And what do you rate your own hardness?
Oh my god, a 4.9.
I thought so.
But not a 5.
I'm not a 5. I'm never.
You always need to remember.
There's someone else who's harder out there than Pedro.
It's a 3.
I'll give this a 4. I mean, look, it's not the best metal song ever made, but I'm in a really pissed off mood, and this spoke to me.
Man, I gotta go 2.8. 2.8 2.8.
Calm down, man.
I'm sorry.
He's emoting.
I was emoting.
Late?
I was meddling.
2.5.
All right, that is Black Metal by Venom.
That's a hard name.
So hard.
Yeah.
That's such a hard
So
name.
hard.
It really is.
It's like, oh man.
No such thing.
When I think of this song, I think of Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Now it is time for the children's book segment. This is the part where we look at great literature throughout the decades. Adam, what is this week's book?
Doraemon, Gadget Cat of the Future.
Wrong?
What?
From
the
the future.
From the future.
Whatever.
I'm not the only one.
It's fine, because we don't have the book in front of us. You can't look at
just
the
said.
title. It's somewhere in the Old Gods realm. We'll find it in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just have to find someone who lives in this realm.
That'll
Who has
never happen.
checked out this book from the giant library we talked about a couple episodes back.
Yep.
All right, that thing. All right, good segment. Now
I'm
it's
excited to read it.
I am fascinated. to
I'm
read it.
super excited to read it too.
And now it's time for the TV segment, and this week we are reviewing Walking with Dinosaurs. Walking with Dinosaurs is it's fascinating how unique it is.
It's so great.
And it's an amazing thing because it almost should have been done already. But, okay. So this is a 6-part fake nature documentary that is using the typical kind of BBC documentary format that you've probably seen in Planet Earth, or like we reviewed on Human Planet back on episode 2. It is using
I didn't
that
like Human Planet.
format of like National Geographic for a 100% scripted series, because you're watching
Dinosaurs are dead, guys.
Yes. These are 6 episodes in different eras of dinosaur times. And it's narrated by Kenneth Branagh. It is
crazy.
truly...
Wait, is it just me and Austin who watched this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, you gotta see Walking with Dinosaurs.
It is brilliant in a way that like it's actually almost confusing how
It's
brilliant it is.
perplexing.
Because there are so many things to learn about dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are the coolest science subject when you were a kid. Dinosaurs, are the subjects of perhaps the greatest Spielberg film. That's not Schindler's List. They are a fun kind of creatures of when the world was run by monsters. And what this documentary, it's not a documentary series.
It's really not.
What
'Cause
this
it can't
fake,
be.
what this fake documentary series does is it uses animation and some practical effects in some small parts to pretend to be Planet Earth and to show dinosaurs try to complete their mundane tasks of existence and not look at them in the same global scale as we typically do, where we say this creature was around for this many thousands of years. Instead, you get to watch them guard their eggs. You get to see them go out for food. You get to see them piss everywhere.
Okay, and that's what Austin and I were talking about when we were watching about this. That is bizarre. Look, Planet Earth, for example, is like sometimes crazy things happen that are kind of funny, and the reason they happen is because while they're filming the documentary, the animals actually do things, right? And so you sort of take the footage you're given. The footage here is, it's all constructed. The narrative is constructed, which means that, for example, in the first episode, when they decide that the most important fact to share with us is that one of these dinosaurs just cold pees on everything to mark its territory, and needs to show the model. I don't remember whether it's a model at that point or like a CGI, but just cold pee on everything, not like a trail of the pee that you could just put some water on. No, we're gonna take the time to CGI this dinosaur peeing on stuff. That's what we have chosen to do.
This is a 2-second moment in a 3-hour show.
No, but
it's
keeps
typical,
coming
'cause
up.
it's what they choose because you're watching them craft a narrative for these animals in the same way that these documentarians craft narratives for all these things, except they actually wrote it. So
there's my other favorite moment is there's one that's set in the Arctic, and so it's dark all winter. There's no sunlight, right? And so there's literally a time where they're like, normally we wouldn't be able to see what the dinosaurs do in the winter, but using special cameras we can watch. And then it shows the same animated and model dinosaurs doing stuff, but with a fake like dark infrared kind of effect to it, as if they are there using cameras to make a purposely worse image than what they actually need to make. And I say these nitpicks, not nitpicks. I mention this not because it makes the series bad. If anything, it makes it delightful. It's immersive. You're like, oh cool, like dinosaurs, like I get to watch what happens to dinosaurs. But like, it's just a choice they made.
Well, and it is brilliant. It's hard to not watch a single episode and not understand that they pulled something brilliant. They went
really cool
to these great locations around the world, filmed these cameras where there's no subjects in front of them, inserted animated subjects, and made it in a way and put a narrative to where you care about these fake dinosaurs for this segment. But because of that, it's confusingly brilliant because of elements like that. Because the camera elements, or the fact that Kenneth Branagh can talk about how like what this one dinosaur is doing because it is starving, it will do this, and then it will do this, and it'll do this. But then he'll end it by saying, "Oh, in 200 years they'll die."
Yeah.
So
it's
also, then
great.
They do time jumps in the narrative. So in the episode, it will say on screen 1 year later, which is again crazy because none of this is happening. But it's brilliant because it works.
The only in-universe explanation is that Kenneth Branagh is literally God, narrating from heaven what is happening.
And it works in a way of an actual, like, there's a reason this was a huge hit.
Yeah,
this was a
really good.
huge hit in the UK, and it was a huge hit because it made dinosaurs accessible in a really wonderful way. Because when you see them operating as actual animals, they're no longer the mystical beasts that once lived, a billion years ago. These are now animals that operate with animal behavior.
Everybody poops.
Everybody poops. And that made, it made science no longer a lecture, but it made them, you get to watch fictionalized versions of animals behaving as animals.
Yeah, I guess my only real nitpicks would be two things. First, every time they made a claim about, this is this guy's mating dance, or this is how, I trusted that, and I know that, it is a very well-researched series, that we do actually know this, but the intellectual curiosity in me was constantly like, holy shit, how did we figure that out? Because that seems like a weirdly specific thing to be able to know.
Because on planet Earth, you'll just know it's true because you saw it happen.
Because you saw it, right? Whereas this, it's like, oh, that's awesome. Did we how did we figure out their coloration and pigmentation? And they're not fucking with us. These are, at least with some of them, I recognized from my own dinosaur trivia knowledge, that we do know these things. But I don't know. I would love the behind the scenes of every single one of these. And then the other thing that bugs me is
we did not have time to watch the making of, which was an 1 hour episode on the DVD that. Sorry, I was busy getting stormed on in the old God's realm. So.
And also, despite Kenneth Branagh's random casual mention of the doomsday of the dinosaurs every 10 minutes, just remind you that life is ephemeral. They only spend 10 minutes on the actual event of the meteor crash that kills the dinosaurs, that destroys the dinosaurs, and I would have loved to have I just wanted I wanted more out of that episode.
Isn't that a Disney film I haven't seen?
Land Before Time?
No, Dinosaur.
Land Before Time.
Oh yeah, I have not seen Dinosaur.
I heard it was bad.
It looked bad to me. It was also really good CGI. I feel if I know correctly, which I could be totally wrong, I think it takes place the week of
That's not good.
extinction.
That's depressing.
I
But-
feel like I saw it, but I barely remember it, and
Yeah.
that sounds correct.
Because, like, that's upsetting.
Yeah.
But anyway, Walking with Dinosaurs, apparently they made a movie, like, adaptation, like, 10 years later, and I heard it was terrible, so I didn't watch that because I didn't see that was part of the series itself. But, Walking with Dinosaurs,
It's really good, guys. You guys
It's
should watch it. It's a
super-
lot of fun.
it's super cool, and its brilliance is actually confusing, but it's never not brilliant.
I agree.
There's a reason why it was in every single school during this time. So, Walk with Dinosaurs, I give this a 4.2.
Oh shit!
I'd give you the same, 4.2. I
Yeah.
really like it, actually.
It's
Genuinely, like, yeah.
I think maybe it's not like it's going to be higher, but like it is a really cool version of this thing. I still feel someone can nail it better.
Yeah, I agree.
Not because they...
Question.
Yeah.
Did they have feathers?
No.
No, because, well, to be fair, this was made before we knew. Although, like...
No, it's been speculated that dinosaurs have had feathers for years.
Well, no, right, but, I mean, this is from 1990-something. And so it was interesting for me as somebody who, like, pays attention to dinosaur stuff, what stage of discovery we were at. Because we were definitely past the... You know, we definitely know for sure it was a meteor crash. Which, like, was not... I mean, it was, like, known, but not, like, 100% proven. We don't need another explanation.
Found the crater in Mexico. Finally.
Yeah, until we found the crater in Mexico. So it's after that, and then they talk about the links to birds, and that birds are, like, the surviving dinosaurs, but the feathers, the actual discovery of feather imprints in fossils was made certainly within the last 20 years.
They do discuss a lot of times when they look at a lot of dinosaurs, beyond, like, the big ones.
Yeah.
You know, they show Stegosaurus and whatnot, and T-Rex, but like all those little ones, which names I forgot, they talk about where they will end up in the evolutionary line.
Yeah,
Which I thought was really cool.
Also,
I mean, even in
huge
Jurassic
compliment.
Park, they talk about the velociraptors and how they're basically modern neighbors, even though they actually use the body of a different dinosaur
It's too bad.
instead of an actual velociraptor. It's a tiny little bird thing.
It's too bad.
There's a whole
Jurassic
thing
Park
with
is not a
dinosaurs.
documentary.
It's not, but
That
it's
is-
There's this!
and it's perfect.
I mean, right. Also, yeah, trying to pick a genre for this, very hard to do.
I've always heard about it for years. I'm thrilled I got to watch it. Also, thank you when there are 6 episode TV shows.
It makes Austin's life easier.
Life is here. Anyway, episode 71.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
That was episode 71.
One.
We ended with
7.
with
7
man
1.
creating life, and then we ended
60-11.
with God destroying it all.
That seems right.
That's what it's all about.
It is. Good point.
That's what life is all
Except that we can
about.
never die.
But we're working on it.
Well, let's get going then.
All right, then let's pick next week's number. Let's I don't know. Let's figure out the best way to do this.
Why don't we just hang out here in Old God's world where it's cool to be immortal, because that's kind of where we belong. At
Pedro,
this
I
point.
want to die.
I hate it here.
I want out, and I want also to die someday. It would be
I
nice.
keep getting trapped in rooms all by myself.
This
and
is
it's
I
not
was
nice.
stormed on for a week. I think
Fair
inside.
enough, guys. Whoa, sorry.
Pedro, give me a number. 1 through 10.
Fuck.
1 through 10?
What's
1
this
through
number
10? How about
backwards?
177?
Fine. That's close to what I asked you, but to argue with you
1
gives me
through
a migraine.
1000.
Let's look up the damn number. It's good as
All
any.
right, you all have your phone. I brought the book
Yep.
to the old realm because I'm a good person.
You're
who
not a
believes
good
in
person,
books.
but that's okay.
Books are important. I use bookmarks. I don't use
The food's hop
digital
shoot.
bookmarks.
Hops
Hop shoot.
like beer?
Hops like beer.
Are we gonna make
but
beer in the
shoots of
castle?
them. I mean, I don't
We should
know.
have been doing this for a long time.
I gotta find a garden and go look.
Wait, beer shots?
No.
Beer
Hops.
shots.
Hops.
I heard beer shot.
Beer shots.
Beer shooters.
Yeah.
Beer shots.
Beer
shots.
Beer shots.
Why would you do
Beer
a
shot.
shot of beer?
That's awful.
Why wouldn't you?
You do it every 1 minute.
Yeah, that's basically it. Is it one minute?
It's
Oh my
every
God,
1
guys.
minute, and then you
The album is Bitches Brew by Miles Davis.
and then you do
Bitches brew.
6
Bitches brew. Bitches brew.
Bitches brew.
So that's when you go to McDonald's and get every soda in the soda fountain.
I
No,
used
that's
to
definitely
love
called
making
a
suicides.
suicide,
Suicides, yeah.
Wait.
You want it to be more red than black.
I think we changed it over you.
Or green.
Who recorded Bitches Brew?
Bitches.
Miles Davis.
Cool.
Brew.
The movie is the French classic Children of Paradise.
Guys, the song is People Get Ready by The Impressions.
The children's book is A Child's Garden of Verses by Robert Louis Stevenson. And I feel good about this one.
You feel good about this one?
Yeah.
I feel good about the TV show, which is a show that I know is a show. It's called The Waltons.
All right.
And luckily, if I get this correctly, it is only 9 seasons long. Okay.
Perfect.
Just gotta watch over 200 episodes.
9 episodes, 9 seasons. What's the difference?
There's a lot. What are you talking about? What, like...
Story,
Time?
yeah. Man, time is irrelevant.
God, you're just so goddamn hard.
I'm
So
hard.
hardcore.
So hard right now.
All right. Well, Pedro figures out how long it's going to take to watch The Waltons. You can do a whole bunch of things in that meantime. You can follow us on Twitter at... Where is it, Sarah?
At Immortals Pod.
It is. And
Not the Immortals
It's
Pod.
The Immortals
No, it is
Pod.
I thought you said the.
It's just at. Oh, it's at the
It's
Immortals
at
Pod.
The Immortals
I
Pod.
said it wrong.
.com.
71.
What?
Dot
org.
biz.
Dot Rick and Morty, 100 years. All right. Our email address is theimmortals@theartimmortal.com. You can follow us on YouTube. It keeps getting uploaded there. I will be cleaning up soon once I get, I don't know, out of the realm of the old gods. Also, you can go to theartimmortal.com. You can leave a comment on this episode. Let us know what you think of Eye Against Eye, Young Frankenstein, Walking the Dinosaurs, Black Metal, or Sausage.
Please send us Garamon.
Yeah, just send us some Gadget Cats. That'd be great.
Doraemon.
Doraemon.
Gadget Cat
What's
from the future.
Garamond is
Garamon's a font.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's forever.
I was wondering why you were like, send us fonts.
But while you're at theartimmortal.com, you can check out the other 2 podcasts that are currently there. One is Let's Take 5, the podcast where myself and Eric Martindale, we pick a cinema legend and take 5 of their films to highlight their excellence in range. Tomorrow's episode is episode 50. That's crazy. Remember we were episode 50?
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're at 50
So
already?
long ago.
That's awesome.
Holy fuck, nice.
I know, right?
That's
Look at you
amazing.
guys.
So we are
That's basically a year.
we're reviewing the very appropriate film Boyhood.
Yeah.
Oh,
about-
shit.
Second time. And then, of course, on Wednesday's episode, we will wrap up Richard Linklater, and we will announce our new 5, which is way more popular than Richard Linklater. So get excited for that announcement.
I bet.
And then also,
Tom Cruise.
this week, it's not Tom Cruise. This week, if it's Tom Cruise,
Anyone.
we would have already booked Lee.
Anyone.
God damn it.
Lee is on
I
the
listened to JC's episode. It was amazing. It was really fun.
That is one of our most downloaded episodes. We have no idea why.
Because JC's awesome.
I couldn't recognize her. I was like, is that JC?
This is
I think
horrible
that might
audio.
be JC.
It's terrible audio. Y'all
Oh,
are
I'm
just
sorry,
talking.
guys. I'm
That
sorry.
person
Most
sorry.
people don't know who JC is.
JC guested on the episode about Carol. Anyhow.
The show is good. Listen
Thank
to
you.
it.
The other podcast on the website is Ad Absurdum. I'm not on it. Way better already. Is where the pop culture legal team takes on a movie and talks about all of the different legal implications that this fictional film
I listened
describes.
to some of that too, and it's also really good. Listen to
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Sorry for the delay. It's been hard to broadcast
It's
from the
coming
old
out
gods.
sometime this week.
Yeah, it'll be out soon when I can figure out what is wrong with my computer. And yeah.
What film is it this week?
Oh, right.
This week /
It's
month.
a film called Gadget Cat.
Oh, I told you should
that
do
crazy,
Gadget
You know
Cat.
that crazy shit one about
It's
like genetic
one of the
determinism?
best
That
ones.
one.
So get excited for that.
What?
No, I just remember the end of that when the doctor figures out.
Yep.
how
Yep.
he's-
Oh god. Spoilers, by the way.
Wow, this is terrible audio.
You piss with your right hand.
My son's left-handed. It's a thing. I know.
Honestly, that it is the funniest line. Also, yeah, no excuse. This is all staying in. All right,
Why?
anywho, don't care. So come back next Thursday. Until then, leave us a review on iTunes. That'd be cool. But truly, thank you all for listening. You all are fantastic, and we are excited to keep trying to die with your entertainment.
Yay.
Yay.
So next week, French classic Miles Davis, the guy who wrote Treasure Island, wrote some poems. Beer shots, people get ready, and John Boy.
All right.
Who are we?
We're the Immortals.
Can we
I'm
do it?
Austin.
Can we do it in order?
I'm Adam.
Sweet.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Lee.
Not Pedro. Woo! We did it.
Bye, everybody. It's time to go now.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Different types who wear a day coat, pants with stripes, or cutaway coat, perfect fits. Dressed up like $1 million trooper, trying mighty hard to look like Gary Cooper. Come, let's mix where Rockefellers walk with sticks or umbrellas in their midst.